This is the Darién Gap between the border of Colombia and Panama, the most dangerous area in the world. Crossing this 100-mile area means crossing the gorge of death. Because of this area, even today, North America and South America are not connected by any road or rail network. Only 7 times in human history has an attempt been made to cross this entire area by any car or jeep. Despite being so dangerous, it is very important for some people to cross this area. Every year, thousands if not millions of people cross this area from South American countries, especially Colombia, Ecuador, and Venezuela, trying to reach Central and North America with the dream of a better life. In 2022, 250,000 people tried to cross the Darién Gap to Mexico and then to the United States, but several hundred of these 250,000 people died crossing the gap. After all, what has happened in this 100-mile area? That it is considered the most dangerous area in the world. And despite having so much money and technology, why no attempt has been made to build a road or rail network in this area? Where state-of-the-art cities have been built in hot deserts, why is it so difficult to build a road or rail in this small area? There are 4 reasons for this. The first reason is the dangerous weather. The Darién Gap is a few hundred kilometers above the equator, which makes the climate quite hot, and the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans to the north and south, which makes the humidity quite high. The entire area is densely forested, and it rains about 330 days out of 365 throughout the year, causing not only flash floods, but also frequent landslides on the mountains. Due to so much rain and flood, it is very difficult to do construction here, because concrete, cement, or asphalt, they all need warm weather to dry. And even if these issues are solved, the second most dangerous thing here is dangerous animals and insects. Nowhere on Earth are there as many venomous snakes and mosquitoes as there are in this Darién Gap. And since there is no hospital, no house, nothing in all these areas, if you are cut by any of these things, it is almost impossible for you to escape. That is why most of the people who pass through here die from malaria, dengue, snake poison, or drowning in the river. But now it is not even possible for America and other countries to build a road here. Yes, it will be expensive, it will be difficult, but it is not impossible. So what is the reason why there is no attempt to build a road or rail here? In fact, some countries do not want any road or rail network to be built here, especially America and Panama. In the 19th century, Panama was a province of Colombia. But due to the Darién Gap, it was very difficult for Colombia to control Panama. There was only one way for the Colombian government to stay connected to Panama, and that was through the ocean. Taking advantage of this disconnect, Panama launched a movement for independence from Colombia. And in the 20th century, a rising superpower, the United States of America, began to take great interest in the movement. In fact, the United States was very interested in the Panama Canal and wanted to have control over the canal. Because before the construction of the Panama Canal, trade between Eastern and Western America was very difficult. All ships had to cross the entire South America and go to the western or eastern coast of the United States. So the eastern and western coastlines of the United States were disconnected. And to find a solution to this artificial canal was created, after which not only the trade ships of the United States but also the Navy could now easily go from one side to the other in a few days. And the concept was so important at the time that whoever controlled the Panama Canal would control one of America's greatest weaknesses. Now, Colombia did not want to give the control of this canal to the United States at that time, and that is why the United States fully supported it in the independence movement of Panama, and as a result, in 1903, Panama became an independent country, and the United States was the first to recognize Panama. The government of Panama in return gave the United States a permanent lease of all the land around the canal. And until 1999, this entire area remained under the control of the American government. Then in 1999, the control of this canal was returned to Panama, but even today this choke point is very important for the United States and other countries. Today, about 6% of the world's sea trade passes through this juxtaposition between South America and North America. These canals connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, with approximately 13,000 to 14,000 cargo ships passing through this route every year. Most of the trade between Eastern Asia and the Americas takes place through this route, and therefore the canal is used most by the United States and China. Similarly, It is also a way to connect the west coast of America with Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Now, coming back to the Darién Gap, it is between Colombia and Panama. The same Colombia that has been suffering from internal violence and instability for the past several years, and where the drug mafia is famous throughout South America. The most cocaine in the world is made in Colombia, and all of it is smuggled to Central and North America from here. But the Darién Gap makes smuggling difficult, and smugglers have to take the sea route, where Panama's Coast Guard often catches smugglers. Now, in this situation, if a road or rail network is built here, America is afraid that the Colombian drug mafia may not reach Panama from here and damage the Panama Canal. And not only that, but it will also be very easy for them to deliver drugs from here to Mexico and the United States. Therefore, even if the governments of Panama and Colombia make an agreement to build a railroad network here, the United States will not allow any kind of development here. And now we come to the final reason for not developing the Darién Gap, and that is to prevent illegal migration. In fact, Latin America lags far behind North America economically, politically, and in terms of standard of living. Most of the countries in South America are suffering from corruption and political instability, due to which millions of people want to leave their countries for a better life. And for all these people, there is no better option than just a few miles away America. Now America has made its immigration policy very strict for the last few years, after which these people have only one solution to reach America illegally. But for this, they have to risk their lives and pass through the Darién Gap. Every year, thousands of people enter Central America through this gap and then through Mexico to the United States. But the biggest obstacle in this whole way is the Darién Gap. Dengue, malaria, poisonous snakes, landslides, flood, and robbers. In this journey of 10 days, you have to go through all these things. And the sad thing is that despite such a dangerous route, the number of people crossing this gap is constantly increasing every year. People who are tired of poverty and hunger have no other choice. How many people are killed on this journey, and most of those who survive are psychologically damaged. No railroad network is built across the Darién Gap to prevent these same poor people from reaching America. And it will probably remain so for many years to come. Why is there such a difference in South America and North America, where there is a world's #1 economy? Why are the rest of the countries mired in poverty and hunger?